Thanks very much for having me tonight. I'm Lucas. I own a couple of restaurants now. Autostrada Hospitality. So we have one Autostrada Vancouver House and one we just opened in August called Autostrada Oyster Bar and Grill. And it's in Britannia Beach, open in August. So if you were wondering earlier who the guy that said, why the hell am I here, that's me. So far, a couple titans of the world right here. That's pretty awesome. And I suppose I'm here for no other reason than just to be a human doing what I've done. So to tell a story, and I don't know, I have 2 restaurants now. A couple of years ago, I had 4. Went through various changes through life, through mentality, through everything. Hardships, good times, bad. But I guess to tell the story briefly, I started out finishing my degree in university, which I didn't really care to do. I just was playing basketball and I did it. And I got into cooking on a whim because I didn't want to go to law school. So I started cooking, and then I loved it. I loved it so much that it took over. It was this feeling inside me that just went, this is what you need to do, whether you recognize it or not, whether you feel comfortable or not, whether you understand why people are yelling at you, which I kind of liked. And it made sense to me to be in this environment where I knew at some point I would get it. I would get why food works, why the top chefs are the top chefs, why some people aren't top chefs, why people work for top chefs, why everyone works in a kitchen, why restaurants work, why hospitality works. It just was something inside me that I was like, I need to be a part of this, and it all makes sense. So I started out just working in kitchens, and then I had an opportunity to open one. So I opened one with my first business partner, and we worked our buns off. We worked really hard, and in our 3rd year, we won Restaurant of the Year. So small little place. First time that happened, casual first place, won Restaurant of the Year in Vancouver Magazine. So I'm going to give this to you because Camila was so kind. First of all, when you asked me for visuals and put a PowerPoint together, that was my stress. I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this talk. I'm out of here. I thought it was 20 people just chit-chatting. So you can press play. I think there's 7, so don't run out. You got a couple minutes per, okay? They're pretty much... well, this brings me to... La Quercia was the first place we opened. It was great. And we relied on everyone. Everyone helped us out, and it was great. We had success right away. It was like a gimme. It was too good. It just happened so easy. 20-hour days, no sleep, but I had no kids, I wasn't married, I could only do work, and I loved it, so it was easy. But then, after that award, things got a little stagnant. You're kind of like, okay, well, what's next? So my business partner and I broke up, and there was a couple of years while I floated. We had, one thing I was doing, but... my wife and I, we went, well, let's open a place. Let's open a little bistro, And let's open it somewhere weird that no one will go to. And it'll be really awkward. And let's open it without gas. Let's do something no one in the city's doing. Let's do induction. So neither of us have ever done that. So we opened this place called Chinara, and it was in a really cool space, but no one wanted to go down there. I remember this one client that supported us weekly at La Quercia came down. They're like, we will never come back down here. Everything was great. Thank you very much. And I'd send everyone home, and I'd scrub down the whole restaurant, and I'd hide in the washroom and cry. And it was like we'd gone too far. We spent 5 times as much money as our budget was, and it was ruinous. And I was going to give up. And I was like, well, you can't. You can't give up. You owe X times thousands, hundreds of thousands, that you don't have. So what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm going to pay it back. So I was dug deep. And I was like, what do we need to do? We need to take a break. So even though we were already extended, we just went to France. We went to Paris. We went 2 weeks. We went to Paris, and we're like, this is at a time where Paris was experiencing like an expat American revolution of their own food. So it was a pretty amazing time to be there. It was kind of redefining what Parisian bistro was. So food-wise, it was pretty cool to like land there and just be like, this revolution is happening, and we're here, and we are, well, carte blanche. And we went to this one restaurant, and they're quite famous now, but they had just started. And we walk in the door, and it was a late rezo, and my wife's like, if it's a tasting menu, we're out of here. I'm like, it's 10 p.m., you're fucked. Like, we are staying. And they give me the menu, like, would you like to peruse the menu? And I was like, I would. And it just one piece of paper, and it said, carte blanche, 55. And we're like, we're in. So we had the most amazing time there. We brought it back to Chinara, and we just did carte blanche. We did whatever the hell we felt like. We bought the best ingredients. We only believed in ourselves and what we were doing, and it was like, this is good. This feels good. So we just built it. We just did 13 courses, changed them daily. We bought in every single best ingredient we could possibly do and manipulated it in the way that we wanted to dine and felt like people should celebrate. And it started to get traction. We definitely like price-wise, it was extraordinarily affordable. But we put our blood, sweat, and tears, and it started to grow. It grew, and then you know what? It started getting really nice. And one day I had to fire my wife because she was 8 months pregnant, climbing up a metro shelf. And I was like, tonight's your last night. So, things changed after that. It was like, now I'm gonna believe in cuisine and believe in like what we're doing, but I have other things that I gotta care about. So, you know, kids started having time away, and I couldn't do 20 hours a day. I couldn't do only work. So I started splitting it off, and eventually moved into an opportunity with a new business partner to open Autostrada. So Autostrada was birthed out of the idea that you know, you can believe so much in cuisine in me doing it, but it was time to give opportunity to train other people, to believe in like an idea of how people could dine well, but maybe not at the extreme of my own like life being torn apart and put on a plate every night. So we did Autostrada, and it was wildly successful. It was awesome. Everything went awesome. There's celebrities at the door. Everyone's coming in. It was great. And then after a while, like life does, it just kind of goes a certain route, and things happened. And this is the worst part of, I guess, my life. This part. It was my business partner and a colleague got together, and they kind of started running the company a certain way, and I lost interest. So we were 4 restaurants, we're doing all this stuff, and I didn't give a shit. It wasn't my ideas. It wasn't my, if I tried to do anything, it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. So it was a while. Like we were doing okay financially, we thought, but I took my finger off the pulse. I was just like watching it go on and tuned out to everything. And I don't know what I was doing. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this life. I want to change what I've been doing. I want more. I want to be happy. And right now I'm not happy. So I asked my business partner to make a very difficult choice. I was like, I'm happy to leave the company, or I'll stay, but this other person has to leave. So it was very difficult for him. And I think at that point, I was like pretty excited inside to maybe leave. Maybe I would go do something else and start fresh. And tell you financially, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I have very little finances, but I have my heart, and I have my desire, and I have my care, and I have my backing of my family. So that was all I needed. So I went for it. And then it turns out, as the veritable of the back and forth of some partners and so on, it turns out there was a huge lapse in our accounting. So the person that I didn't want to work with anymore had lied, and anyway, we won't get into the nitty-gritty, but we were financially really bad. The CRA did not care for what was happening, and I had no idea. So all of a sudden, you owe way more than you have, and years worth of more than you have, and it starts to make you wonder what you are going to do with your career, with yourself. Do you go bankrupt? Do you just quit? And I was like, I haven't quit this far. I sat on the toilet and cried nights and nights away. And I was like, well, I'll take the company. I'll just do it. And I don't care about the financial whole, because I know that if I stand in the kitchen doing what I do and love, that will eventually make it, even if I have to do like some sort of flavored hot dog. That'll be my favorite hot dog that you'll get to have. So we decided just to keep the core unit and just push forward. I tell you what, we sold off a couple of units, got out of one scenario, and we had one restaurant. And it was some of the best times. I mean, this is recent. This is somewhat recent, a couple of years. And it was the most fun, like getting back in that creative, like just being there with the guests, being there in the kitchen, being there focused on a purpose to build again, to restart. Like the one thing I love, and I feel aqueous in my solution when it's just burners, there's noise, there's just pressure, and it just feels so good just to create and cook and feel that power of just making fun, enjoyable times for everyone to just eat good food, eat good ingredients. Like the farmers, the people we work with, for my whole career, I've always believed in like just bringing the best in. And we don't blow that out. We don't like, toot the horn so much. We just simply do it. We just believe in it. And it was powerful because it started working again. So the restaurant started growing again. It started being built. People came in to bail us out, help out. They were like, yeah, we see this opportunity. And then we had, who I like to call my new daddy, came in and just saw everything. He saw it going the right direction, and all our investors were like, you know what? We're friends and family. This is a big whale. He loves you guys. Let's go. So we have a new partner, and he was like, you guys are going to jump, and we're going to do Britannia. But it's been great. I was like, you know what? We have this opportunity to, like, dig in and build this space, which I got to design the kitchen, a lot of the restaurant, and it is gorgeous. So it's 8 weeks on, and it's got 20 years to go, and I look forward to being that old guy in there with my son working the kitchen and just being like checking on people and like having a little brandy at 3, going to bed at 6, But it's been a wild career of ups and downs and like hard pressure, and my wife's always like, don't get him involved in the restaurant, but he's great at it. He feels it. His knife skills at 9 years old are amazing. But whether that happens or not, it doesn't matter. But for me, being in the restaurant industry has been something that I guess I could have done something else. I've never had a desk job in my whole entire life, and I think there's a reason for that. Like, I somehow made it through university, but as soon as I got out, I got better at life. I got better at stuff. I got to be free to do what I felt like I wanted to do. I got to make my own calls. If I want to have fun with the menu, I can be playful. If I want to be serious and get tight, I can do that. I've researched all food. I love all of it, and I love learning more. It's just been the most incredible experience for me to be able to be here. And now being up here is, I guess, maybe testament. I got invited for a reason. But it's really nice to be here. And thank you all for listening to my story. Thank you very much.